Alright, I'm tired of listening to music on the new computer only through my sound demos because Foobar is not installed. So this is the video that everyone apparently on Earth has been waiting for, and I've more than any piece of audio equipment is how do you set up your Foobar? How do you get Foobar to look like Foobar? So, brand new computer. Well, it's 2 weeks old, but I have not installed Foobar, not a lick of it on here. Didn't install it, not install it. We're gonna go straight through it right now. And I have no idea how long this is going to take. Here are the 5 things I downloaded. I put my monitor in 1080, so it's gigantic. The Foobar installer, which I'm currently using version 1311. Waveform Seekbar, which is what gives me the beautiful waveform at the bottom. The Wasabi output. The graphic equalizer, which you can give or take unless you don't like equalization, and there's something from another website which is a bunch of icons with different letters and different colors, and I'll explain what those are for later. Again, you may not need those, but again, this is live. I have no idea if I'm going to be doing this in the right order, or yes, minimize, next. I agree with everything there. Standard installation. x86, fine. Optional features, I want everything. All of it. Ket. Run Foobar. So here's the basic questions it asks you. Quick appearance setup. And you could pick from the list here anything you want. It's showing you all the different things it does. You want album list, and then you got visualizations, you got spectrogram, and this might not be the worst way to go about it. Yeah. Alright, here's what I'll do. I'm going to some view plus tabs, visualization plus cover art. We're just gonna pick one. Oh God, go away, Telegram.
Searching for long-range comms.
Oh God. Not now. Not while I'm in the zone. Alright, doesn't matter. Pick one. First one's fine. Here's what we're going to do now. We're going to wipe the slate clean. And I'll show you how to set this up. You go to View, Layout, Enable Layout Editing Mode. Right click, yeah, okay, fine. And then we're going to go to Layout, Create Scratch Box. Now, a scratch box is a big blank space, which is what you're looking at here. And basically, it's asking, this is Foobar in here. What do you want? Right now, it's blank. You click it, and it gives you all the options. Now, this is like a puzzle. An interesting puzzle. If you want waveform Seekbar like I have it, where it's entirely across the bottom, that's a series of splits we've got to deal with. So now we're going to split top to bottom. See, we're going to hit that, we hit OK. So now there's 2 boxes. So if we move this down, we get to find what that is. Now I don't have any of the plugins installed, so we're going to cancel all this. And then we're going to go install those plugins. That should have been done. Now, plugins come in 2 ways. Either a DLL, like in here, the Foobar Dsp the EQ, the graphic EQ is a .dll. And we've got to extract that to where we installed Foobar, which let's hope Windows 10 doesn't have a shit fit. Foobar components, that's where it goes. Okay, so now that should be installed. The other type is a .fb2k- component, and I think we double click it. Yes, as long as you have Foobar installed, the following component package will be installed. Blah, blah, blah. Only if you trust the website. Do you trust it? Yes. Please apply changes to load. Apply. Restart. Okay, and then it restarts. Close it again. Do it again for, that was Seekbar. Now let's do it again for Wasabi. Do we want to continue? Yes. Apply changes to do it? Yes. Okay, so now we're back. We've got 3 components installed, and we're ready to modify this. So, back to the scratch box, which is when you start from scratch. Can I make this bigger? Yes, I can. Okay, good. So, what do we want our foobar to look like? If you want it to look like mine, the very bottom is going to have a waveform seek bar. So we're going to split top to bottom right now. Initially, boom, half of it. So this half, now we just decide here. So there's your different choices of what to put there. Waveform seek bar is down in utility at the bottom because it's an add-on. And now that is that. And it's not going to show you anything because, well, there's nothing to show. So now we got to deal with, that's done, that area. Now it's this area. So let's click again, and now we're going to split left and right. Now this, click again. What do you want that to be? That's going to be album list, I think. I hope. Okay, stimuli. Okay, so there's album list. Yeah, you get to choose down here. I use folder structure. You'll obviously be able to change that on your own. So now this is defined and this is defined. So now this area. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to split it top and bottom again. So now we've got this big area is going to be for the actual list of music, and I can make this all shorter and smaller. Help you figure that out. So we could define this as what the hell is it called? Playlist view. Yes, Playlist Manager. Give me a second. Edit. Layout. Playlist view. So I'm just double checking what it is called here because I haven't done this in a while. So indeed we're going to set this to playlist view, and now that's our playlist view. So good. Now up here we're dealing, and I'm going to split this left to right a couple times. Yeah, left to right a couple times. So now I've got 3 sections. This first section I always set to media information, which is known as selection properties. Boom. This is usually the peak meter. I'm dragging shit under my chair. Spectrogram? Spectrum? Peak meter. There's peak meter. And then, yes, no. Whatever. Point is, you set whatever you want up here. Info, that, and then I could change that as we go along. Oscilloscope is fine. And that's the basic structure of this. So now what do? We go edit, apply layout. You can overwrite the main layout, yes, blah, blah, blah. Close scratch box. So here's our foobar now. Our foobar is the way we just laid it out in the scratch box. We can, since this is the waveform seek bar and you could actually click on it to go to parts of the song, you can come up here and customize the top bar by removing the seek bar entirely, because you don't need a seek bar and a seek bar. Then you can resize the volume, which God, it's getting huge. Do like that. We could take off all the visualizations that they shove up there, and we could slide the playback controls over. Come on. We also want to add to the upper right hand corner the, what is it called? Playback order. Boom. So now we could choose to go default, which is straight down the tracks, or shuffle tracks. Random for some reason isn't as random as shuffle tracks. Don't understand why. But okay, we got that, and we're gonna move volume to this side, which I think we can only do by crushing it all the way over like that, and bring it back. So now we got this big long volume control, so we can control with the mouse. Playback controls, which you could slide back over here if you want, sort of irrelevant. And everything else structurally is okay. Show volume always put on the thing, so you could actually see the decibel count. Total time of selection I always like 2, and font we could change the font. Get out of there for that. I'll tell you how to get there. We're going to go library, configure. Now, we'll start at the top. Components is everything we have installed. Some of you can click, you can get updates here. You could sometimes adjust settings if they have them. A lot of them don't. Display. Now, a lot of people use Columns UI, and I don't. I just stick with the default user interface, which I think Columns UI screws up the transparency, which we're getting to. That's in advanced. Selection viewers. Prefer current selection, prefer currently playing track. You get to pick which one. When you're, like if a song is playing, and you click another song, but don't double click it, do you want it to show all the information for the song you've selected or the song that's playing? So that's your choice there. Front cover, back art, these are all things I don't mess with. I don't really do cover art much. I'm not a cover art fiend. People are obsessive with that stuff. I know it. Context menu, this is when you right click a file. That's what you want. Default user interface. Quick setup, import theme, export theme, etc. Show balloon tip on song change, minimize the notification area, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. Colors and fonts. Now, what I do is I set one default font that takes over for the entirety of the program. And we could set it to anything. Sans, Unicode, level size 10, regular, okay. And now that'll be everything on Foobar will be that. And you could also change the colors and of text and things. We'll get to that as well. I need to see how it's going to work on Windows 10 because squeaky chair. One of the things that Windows 7 does... Oh God, chair. One of the things that Windows 7 does is when you look at it... Okay, go away. Everything is a solid... There's no... See this white up here? And white here and white there? That's from Windows 8.1 and 10. That's it. This is as close as you can get to setting the theme of Windows. These are my Windows colors. The green Steam color, which I'll post the hex code or something in the description so you could try that. The way this is going to work best is with a dark theme, period. You don't have to use this green. You can use gray or something, but it's going to be a Windows color that it's taking off of. Playlist view, custom columns. We are going to get to that in a second. Yeah, no, not yet. Keyboard shortcuts. Now this is very personal, and I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I remove all of these. All of them. They're gone. And the way you do keyboard assignments is you add a new one, and then you can search through this what you want, which I hate when they're all fucking expanded like that. That's annoying. Is that the default setup? Basically, you would search if you want to do. I was a Winamp person for a long time, so these 5 keys, last track, next track, pause, play, stop, are sort of what I still use at the bottom 5. But I have set, like when I'm just doing things and I want to lower the volume, Alt A is down, Alt Q is volume up, and then I have Alt S and D for shuffle or default playback mode. And then for hotkeys, for global hotkeys, because you could set a global hotkey there, is usually Control Shift and then the bottom 5 again. So, for example, if I wanted to just do play pause, so I typed play, and it searched everything in the thing that has the word play, and the word playlist comes up a million times. So you got to find the right ones. Here's playback. So play pause, play pause, play pause. You click it. There's my action. What's the key I want to use? Space. Is it a global hotkey? It better not be. Now, it's going to bring up this error, or this info thing that says, warning, if you do this, it's going to screw shit up. And here's Winamp. Foobar is really cool that if you have your whole playlist and you don't assign any keys to anything here, you could just type what you want without hitting any search. It's just playing and you type, you know, Huey Lewis in the news. If you put a space in there, if you make space play pause, which I'm going to, it sort of breaks that. But you can just leave all the main typing keys not assigned to anything, and then you could just type in randomly, and it'll work. But for now, I need play pause to be space. I just do. Something I need. And here we'll even do the volume. So where's volume? All right, volume up. Alt Q. Is that a global hotkey? Yes, it is. Oh, I fucked up already. You've got to hit add new, every time. It just erased the play pause one. So now I gotta add new again and hit down, Shift A, global hotkey, apply. And if you want something else, you hit add new and you come in here and you could do. So right now I actually haven't screwed up the things. That's basically all I need right now is volume up and down, everything else I'll click. You understand how to set the keys. Media library. Here's an interesting bit. Now, I actually don't have any music on this computer, which is going to make it very interesting to see how this is going to function. Right now it defaults to C users Zeos music, and you could add other folders. I have no music. How am I doing this video? There's no music for it to find. That's going to be weird. Alright. Well, we'll go with it. But library viewer selection playlist enable, activate when change, enabled, apply. Those do a thing that we'll get to in a second. Hit OK. Back to configure. I hit OK. Didn't need to hit OK. Networking. Buffer size, proxies is all your stuff. I can't tell you how to run your network. Album list. I'd have to check how these are set up over there. Playback. If you don't run replay gain, you should. What replay gain does is it listens to your music and it determines the average volume and the peak volume, and then when you have lots of loud songs, it could either lower those so that they're the same as your low songs, or if you do it the other way, it could just raise the quiet songs up and it sort of leaves everything the way it is. So the way I run it is track gain is the one it looks at, and apply gain without clip. Apply gain and prevent clipping according to peak. And then things with replay gain info I could bump up like 8 decibels. As long as it won't peak, that's fine. You could do that. Total time played is 0 minutes, 0 seconds. Save playback state when closing Foobar. I like that. Cursor follows playback. That means if you don't have that on, it'll play the next track. It might be 2,000 songs down and it won't go there. So I don't like that. Cursor follows playback also means if a song is playing and you select another track, that's the next one that plays. Stop playback after current track, no. Prevent screensaver and monitor standby when playing. Needed for HDMI video, yeah, put that on. Apply. Dsp Manager. Interesting things here. I always add convert downmix channels to stereo, because sometimes I will get a song or something that is encoded in surround sound and I'm usually listening in stereo, so I add that as a default. So I'm going to save this preset as default. That's all I add. Graphic equalizer is here. You want to see what it looks like? Here, hold on. This is the one we just installed. Here, if you want to see what the normal equalizer looks like, I gotta close this first. Here's what the normal equalizer looks like. So a normal equalizer has 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 different setups, 0 to 20. And if we go to the graphic equalizer, which I just removed, lots. And you could drag the mouse up and down, because that's exactly what I want to hear out of these. And you could set up in mono, and it could do auto adjustment. I recommend highly not using those. Now, the reason I saved it with just a single thing in it is because we're going to add another one. Downmix channels to mono. Add that. Type in mono and save it. Now what we can go do is we can go back to keyboard shortcuts and we can look up the word mono. DSP settings mono. Right? So now we're going to set a key. Alt-M. Global, does that have to be global? It doesn't have to be global, so don't bother. And now we're going to go and we're going to add new again. And we're going to erase mono, and it should bring us, and let's just try default. Without typing it. Stupid, and I shouldn't have named it default, because now there's 1,700 of them. Actually, let's just type DSP. DSP. Didn't I save it? I did save it. I didn't save. Okay, so mono saved, remove that, and now we're going to type type stereo, and hit save. Back to the keyboard shortcuts. Stereo.
の箇所 has left the server.
I put the Japanese language back on my Windows 10, so now she speaks Japanese at me occasionally. It's hysterical. Why you do? I'm not high, am I? No. Everything's fine. Stereo. Load. So I have mono and stereo as a DSP chain. Wow, that's weird. Anyway. I gotta get this working now. I'm gonna have to redo this whole video now because of all this. Anyway, what that allows you to do is when you set a keyboard shortcut, you can switch everything to mono. And what that is very important for is for setting speakers up. Like right here on the desk. I just put these speakers on this desk, and I'm gonna listen to music, and I'm gonna be like, well now, mono. And then if the sound isn't coming dead center in there, then I move the speaker until it's perfect, and then take it out of mono. I actually showed that off in one of the videos. I just don't know why it's not being cool, and you know, just doing this. DSP changes right here. Save. Overwrite it, yeah. Maybe we gotta close it. Oh, maybe I closed it. Hold on. Hold it right there. There it is, stereo. Okay. So now we're gonna do, I do Alt-N. So it's Alt-M for mono, Alt-N for not mono. Not global hotkey, boom, boom. Let's talk about multiple sound devices. We'll finish this and then we'll talk about that, or we're good. No, output, that's the next thing. Output, direct sound, primary sound driver. If you use direct sound, then other things can play while music's playing. So if you have YouTube and you want to hear music, then you gotta leave it in direct sound. But if you're listening to music, you want one of the Wasabis. Now we added the Wasabi plugin. Wasabi basically bypasses volume controls and everything else in the computer and just sends music to sound device. The end. So in this case, it's sending music from my computer through HDMI to my television, which is sending it fiber optic to the TAC 101DA, and that's it. Nothing can get in the way. So you have the choice of event or push. You usually want to use event. Push forces its way and can screw things up, but event is like, oh, just, when you can. So I'm picking my computer television monitor here. We don't have to play with the buffer length. We could set the output depth. Be careful with the output depth format. 16 or 24, 32 gets sketchy. Even with 32-bit devices, 24 is usually enough because you're forcing that bitrate out now. So okay. I have to download music literally on this video to get to test this. That's messed up. Shell integration, output. What was I going to talk about? Oh, we'll get to that in a second. Icons. The icons I had you all download. Register support performance on startup. Default audio CD player. I don't even have a CD player, but I'm going to alt hit OK. Folder context menu. Set and queue as a default action. No, I don't believe the from new for you. Always a playlist. Tools. Please select subpage tagging, and then you pretty much have like one tool unless you add more. Now advanced. Now I always play with options and things. That's why I like Tixati as a torrent thing. And what you could do is you could expand every single one of these and just throw up, because look how many there are. Here's the waveform seek bar options. There's multiple collapsing things. Always rescan track if requested by user. Analyze tracks not in the media library. Incremental update of waveforms when being scanned. I do want that on actually, so it shows it growing. Number of concurrent scanning threads capped by virtual processor count. I mean, you can go through this for a while. The one that everyone here needs to know about, I mean, hide all the extraneous bullshit, is display, default user interface, main window transparency, and then you could set only one inactive or not. And if you put it to 50%, click off and then click apply. Now you can see through Foobar. So let's minimize everything. bring up just Foobar. And let's minimize everything again. So there's my wallpaper background of Windows. And here's all my icons on my desktop. You don't want to see that. So you right click, view, show desktop icons, shut them off. Bam. I really need music. Thankfully I have everything.exe installed. MP3. I do have a bunch of random MP3s. Where are they? Steam. Oh god. Car show samples D. Cars and coffee full audio. Actually, that's what I could do. I'm gonna add D. This is probably gonna break my shit. The D is gonna break my shit. We're going to just because I need some content to show you how this is gonna function, I'm just gonna add my other solid state. And now we wait. It should be scanning things. Initializing. This could take all night. I should probably stop this right now. Oh. Got things. If you think this is too see-through, you can always go back to advanced. And higher numbers are worse. Yeah, you want like 25% transparent. Click off, click. There's 25% transparent. So what do we got? Car show sample, car show full audio. I always go by folder structure. My actually over here, we still got to go through that, don't we? Crap. Columns in the main thing. So let's just click all music. So here's all the music. Now nothing's using ID3 tags because I don't have any fucking ID3 tag music on here. And the columns it currently comes with is playing question mark, which is usually just put an arrow there, like that. On the waveform sequar. See, that's why I need that to be paused. So now waveform sequar is working. We could right click and change some options. When it shades the back half, that actually slows down old computers. You could change the foreground color, highlight, selection color, all that stuff. You could change which channels are displayed. I usually just do front, left, and right. Because it will do surround sound in there. It'll be like 5 waveforms. You don't. Nobody needs that. Background color, foreground color, selection color, highlight color. Let's change that to like red. Bright red. No, that's not what I want. Selection color, there you go. That's basically the cursor that moves along. Boom. Shade played, yes or no? I'll say yes because it's a 4K running at 1080. You could change which DirectX it uses, front end settings, down mix displays, blah 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 blah. That's fine. We want to worry about columns. Also, I could rearrange all this crap. Move this over, make that. If you make this wide, the go left and right. If you make it narrower, stars loom so. That's very loud. They go vertical, which is what I want. I want verticality, and I could change this to anything I want if I go to editing mode again. So if I don't want this to be, ooh, it's killing me that that spacebar doesn't play it. If I don't want it to be that, I go to edit, layout, enable layout editing mode, then I can right click and replace UI element with, what is it now? Oscilloscope, spectrum, go. Now I hit OK. Change the bands to 160. Things like that. Now shut off layout editing mode so you don't screw things up. So you could switch it around, and I could add a splitter in there at this point, just add every goddamn UI. But basically, we want big list of folders or playlists here, and actually playlists should be up there. I'm not sure why. I only have one playlist, maybe. We'll get to that, or I'll forget about it and forget you. Columns. The columns of information that are here. Now, this is going to suck because I don't have anything that's a tagged media file. Whatever. Right click, columns, here's your list. Artist album. This is entirely up to you. You don't have to follow me. Shut that shit off. I hate that. Title track album. No, don't give it. I do my first column, other than playing, which is the little arrow, is file name. And I obsessively rename all the stuff that I get Metallica space track name .flac. And it doesn't show you the extension, but it'll, this way when I sort this, it's alphabetized for 15,000 tracks, and it says the artist and the title of the track, and then there's an albums column, which I gotta add that. And the album column, obviously, you drag it over here. That gets pulled from the ID3 tags, which you should all have. Then it's track duration, which is fine, which is under duration. I'm sorry, track number, then duration, and then now that's the default stuff you could use. Now the hard part comes. The Zeos stuff comes. We're gonna hit more, which was an option when we were in here. And we can add custom columns. And let's see if I could do this right there. Can I do that without? I could read it from that. Oh look, it just fades through the back. I have 4 custom columns with my setup, which read off of 3 of them are off of the replay gain information, album gain, track gain, and track peak, and the 4th one is the most important one, which should be on every player on Earth. Last modified. So let's add that one first. So the pattern is, and I'll have this little snippet in the description. Last_modified. And we align right, I think, on all of these. So let's add them all. We're gonna do unblind replay underscore gain. I'm sorry, replay gain underscore album underscore gain. Let's highlight that whole thing because I need to do that like 3 times. Change the orientation to right again. Add new, paste. Change the track gain. Album gain, track to right. Add new. I have to rename them also. And now we're going for track peak. Track underscore peak. Alright, so let's see. I'm just put this is gonna be peak. And I try to make these as short a title as possible because they're gonna take up that space to not have it cut off. So we do RG track. We do RG dash album. And now on this one is very simple. You just do date. Now what the date modified column does is it literally lets you sort the music by what you have on your computer newer than the last thing. So if you just download an album and threw it in your thing and it's all sorted and automatic, where is it? Just sort 15,000 tracks by date and your date column shows up. There. Here's the dates of everything that is in my computer. What's the newest file? Click it, go home. 1999. 22 hertz, 1 channel, not supported. Interesting. What are these other ones? Whatever. So date column works. Columns again. Just add all these ones that we just installed. Columns. Columns. I put the date at the very back, and we're starting to squeeze over. This is when the 4K resolution's going to come into play, because right now we're on 1080, and it's sort of squashed. So, boom. Drunk people. Duration goes here. Date comes back over here. We're just sorting things out now. Just sorting them. Peak goes there. So now I know the track gain, and I could actually run a replay gain scan on some of these, although I'm not sure if they're going to hold the data. Re-zero. That's the entire... Those are the actual videos. What are they doing here? Hold on. It's playing the audio from MKVs. I love Foobar. Cassette Girl, Hammerhead, Car Show, Car Show. Hold on, wait a second. Are these FLACs? Are you FLAC? They click it, here's the information about that file. Car Show sample, that MP3, we have one. Okay, it's an MP3 replay gain. And now it's only a single thing I'm going to scan per track file gain. Boom. Here it is. Success. Update. So now it's telling me there's no album, obviously. But the track gain, it's negative 1.41, which means it's real close to perfect because I recorded it on the greatest. And there's the peak, which actually goes over 1 because it's MP3 and only MP3s can do that. And there's my global hotkey for volume. I'm sure YouTube will find that this audio, it owns this audio and it needs to stop. I want that to pause so bad. So bad I want that to pause. I could add that later. Keep saying that. Where were we? Okay, we've got this laid out. Playing, file name, duration album, replay gain track, replaying gain album, track peak. I'm sorry, track, wait, what the hell is that? Track number, that belongs over here somewhere. Track number, peak, date. Sort by date. Car Show Sample 1 is actually the newest file. Actually, because I just did the replay gain, now it's the newest file. The modified date has been changed. Keep that in mind. It won't play WebMs. That's a shame.
Record for it. Do you have it in
Forever.
like, okay.
It's in CD quality. It'll record forever.
Well, he said he's gonna beat you up.
I love this because you can see exactly when the loud bits are going to happen. Like so. Oh, fuck. Pause. Alright. The final little piece. Go back to the folder where we're installing things. I told you to download those alphabet icons, and here they are. A through Z. We're going to extract those to the Foobar folder. You don't have to do it to the Foobar folder. I just recommend you do it to the Foobar folder into icons. Alright, close this. Now, because I'm me and I have all this shit to deal with, and I usually do a lot of switching between I want that to be my DAC, then I want that to be my DAC, then I want that to be my DAC. And in this case right here, the things I have to choose from are all the HDMI outputs on the video card and my onboard, which I'm currently using for Ventrilo, and the TV/TX. So, should I want to listen to music in the living room, I need to, be able to change the device this is using. So I'm going to go to Customize Buttons here. And you could do this several ways. You can go, if I wanted to manually change it, it'd be library, configure, output, pull down, and then I'd pick which one of these I wanted to use. So the living room is the PAR200. I'd click that, click apply, and now it would play in my living room, which come on. All right. So now that's on. So now if I hit, well, I have to freaking click play. Device invalidated. I'll invalidate your device. Maybe because it's Wasabi. Technical problems, greatest problems out there. Let's see if it's the 24-bit screwing it up. Device invalidated. Did it shut off? No. Maybe because I have it off? I don't know. Alright, we can... Oh, fuck this chair. Anyway, we're going to make shortcut buttons up here that switch the sound device. So we're going to go Customize Button, and then you have one of these menus again, and we're basically have to pick first. So Main, Playback, Device, and then you get the list of devices like we just saw. So Wasabi Event, Add. There's Wasabi Event. Click it, change the icon. Now we navigate back to where we just installed those icons, which is here, 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 and we have those lists of letters. So that's a Tascam PAR200. Let's go to letter T. What color represents it best? Black, obviously, and there's our button. Now let's add another one for this setup here. Again, Wasabi event, add, click, change icon. What am I calling this? Well, it's a TIAC. It's another T, but it's blue because there's blue lights. So do that. So now we have black and blue. If you wanted to add more, you can keep going and keep naming them. That's where they end up. So now I could choose that, or the one that's invalidated, which is my PAR200, which I don't know why it's doing that, but I could just on the fly switch, plays out of here, plays out of there. Want to add, let's add the 305s, just because, again, main, playback, device. So that's coming out of the onboard, which I've actually named onboard. Add that, change icon, O for onboard, and we'll go hot pink because why not? So now, let's see. So now we're here, and now we're there. Now we're back here.
Oh, it's peaking hard. How do I?
Alright.
And they would obviously switch to the living room if I could get it to work, but I'm sure there's some stupid setting Windows 10 is destroying to make that not happen. We've based, now, again, I'm going to speak for the if you know how to fix this, for the love of God, leave a comment, please. But you go back to my Windows 7 laptop, and the theme and everything is dark green everywhere. There's not a stitch of white. There's lighter color on the drag bars, but it's all even. Everything so small. This monitor is so tiny. Paid so much for such a tiny monitor. Hi. See how it's perfect? And you see how over here it's green and then it's just not green. And this is a Windows problem. Windows 8 and beyond just fucked over all your custom theming. So that's a white bar, that's a white bar, and that's a white bar that you can't get rid of. And the drag bars here are white. There's no... So even though it's see-through, it's not as see-through as that. Which is the worst. It's the worst. It is the worst thing ever. If you know how to modify Windows 8 or Windows 10 to allow me to actually put a theme on, like a colored, so that so there is no white anymore, so I have to use XY Explorer here to get rid of it, and it still has white elements that I can't, you just fucking can't get the menu bar to not be white. Racism. It's always white. If you could fix that with me, God help you. God bless you. That's Witch Trip. That's good. Oh, pause. Now you could also set a hotkey in the keyboard shortcuts to do the same functions as these buttons. So if you wanted to switch devices real fast, you could just, you know, Alt 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it is. I did that. I used to do that, but now it hasn't gotten to the point where I need to switch back and forth that quickly. Or I could still just afford to hit that and then... God, that sounds good over there. That's it. Foobar set. Time of selection. This would be. I have it in folder structure mode. You could filter things out if you want to find something specific. This is as good as I can do it. It's not that complicated. There's no like crazy theming going on. It's just a lot of little bullshit. Oh, if I wanted to, hold on. I didn't even test that out. Fuck. I want that to be play pause. Alright, see what I just did? Here. My keyboard shortcut to switch to mono, I just enabled. So now it's in mono. So now there's just a center image. And now it's in stereo again. So we can switch from mono to stereo with just keyboard command. And that is so... If you're a tweaker, if you give a shit, if you have headphones and you're worried that they have imbalance issues, you could just go, you know, Alt, mono. Alt, not mono. And then you can just hear if there's a difference. It's so good. And especially for setting up speakers. I do it all the time in my living room. I mono, and then I sit there, and I might have to adjust speakers here and there. Just every once in a while. Yeah. This has been my Foobar tutorial, and I don't even understand how long it's been recording, or what I said, or how many failures happened in the middle of it. But I can actually go and get music back. I gotta hook my other computer back up, and then listen to music finally on the Elax and the closed desk. So, links in the description. Questions and comments. I guess in the comments. I guess, I don't know. Our Foobar2000 is what you need to really know about.